Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of Dive Tips and Tricks. This week we're going to be talking about cutting devices. Now, contrary to popular belief, divers do not need to carry cutting devices that are going to protect them from great white sharks or the like. Believe it or not, it does not matter how big of a knife you have. I promise you the shark will win every single time. What we do need to carry as divers, though, are devices that are easily accessible, easily stowed out of the way, that can be reached with each hand, so properly located and positioned either on our harness or on our jacket style BCD. And that's going to give us an opportunity to cut away filament, ghost net, any type of entanglement that we would come across, etc. And that's really where that use comes in. So tonight we're going to talk about 4 different types of cutting devices. First, you can see here on the left side, if you're wearing the harness of my buckle, is my good old-fashioned DIR style knife. This is a really simple cutting device. Basically looks like one of Grandma's good old steak knives with the blunt tip here. It is extremely sharp on the serrated edge. And only about 2 inches long. It is accessible to that side of my waist belt with either hand. Get to it with the left easily, get to it with the right easily, and it's not long enough that if I'm in proper trim that it's going to be in the way. This is my go-to cutting device, never leave home without it, my preferred choice. Second is my trilobite cutter. And I wear this on this side of my pouch. You'll see some people wear them on their dive computers. They make a handy holster for this that'll fit onto a dive computer strap or bungee. Some people like to wrap them on their harnesses themselves. I keep mine here nice out of the way. And what I love about the trilobite cutter is that it's going to really get the job done when you need it. So notice here how the way we would cut with this is by pulling. Any sort of line or filament would sit right in here. We would put that against it and just pull to cut that. This is extremely sharp on both sides. You get nice leverage with the way that handle is made. This velcros right to the pouch, stows easily out of the way. And is really become favorites of all types of different divers. And again, this is one of those cutters that I never leave home without it. The third type is safety shears. So these are good old titanium surgical shears. They also stow really nice in your pouch if you need to. So notice that the same length here of my holster works for both my shears and my good old-fashioned DIR knife. These are great because they're easy to manipulate when you got to move through different types of fishing line or ghost net, that sort of thing. Again, extremely sharp, easy to use, easy to stow. Okay, I'm going to take this harness off and show you the 4th kind. That's actually where I wear my cutting device or dive knife when I wear a jacket style BCD. And this is a little bit more of the traditional style knife that maybe some of you are used to seeing on posters and that sort of thing. And this uses barnacle bolts that just attach the knife directly to the BCD. And most jacket style BCDs have grommets built into them at the same length, standard length of where those barnacle bolts are placed on most dive knives. This is a quick release, so you just squeeze the squeeze lock. So just squeeze it, comes out. Again, you'll notice that it's got a serrated edge, a razor blade edge. This hook down here works similar to what the trilobite cutter that I just shared was. If you need to, you can just put the line against it right into that little slot right there, pull, yank on it, nice and cut, and again the blunt tip so that we don't accidentally stab anything on ourselves or damage any equipment. I like this knife a lot. You can hear it lock in so that you know it's safe and secure. Stow's nice streamlined out of the way, and is a good accessory to have. And now in this case, depending on your trim and position in the water, you may not be able to reach this with your right hand. I can, but just barely. But there is a place, we'll notice those grommets right over here on the right hand side, where you could simply attach another one if you wanted that. However, most people would use the knife here and then some other sort of device like their shears or their knife, or the pouch up here with the Trilobite cutter, so that you have your two cutting devices. Everything is accessible, reachable, nice, stowed out of the way. So, to recap, we got 4 types of knives. Our good old-fashioned DR knife works well sitting just to the left of our buckle, accessible with both hands, super sharp, blunt tips, gonna keep our equipment safe. We have our Trilobite cutter. Easy to get to, can be stowed on a computer, on your harness, on your webbing. Extremely sharp and easy to cut with, as you can just pull any line that's sitting in between there to free yourself from that. We have our titanium surgical shears. Easy to stow, easy to manipulate. And we have our quick release, more traditional style knife. Those are the only 4 cutting devices that I use on dives. They get the job done. They stow nice, easy out of the way, and they're designed to free you and not damage your equipment. So let me know what you think in the comments below, or if there's any type of cutting devices or tips and tricks that you would like to see added to this type of video or future videos to come. See you next week.